Good morning, Mr. Maybeck. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Chairperson.
Yes.
Chairperson, the purpose of today's sitting, at least originally, in relation to CRRC, was to hear evidence from them pursuant to you having granted their Rule 3.4 application.
Yes.
There has since been...
I think your voice is soft or low.
I'll
That's
speak
much
up.
better. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's since been an exchange of correspondence between the Commission and CRRC. I'll take you through that if necessary. But it's culminated, that correspondence, in CRRC confirming yesterday that they're not in a position to attend the proceedings today, but that in any event, they do not intend to adduce oral evidence, and that they will stand by the statement that they submitted in support of their Rule 3.3.6 and 3.4 application. Perhaps I could just hand up the correspondence to you.
Yes. They sought, they had applied for leave to adduce evidence in relation to the Transnet matters relating to the locomotives.
That is correct,
Yes.
Chairperson. You'll see that I flagged with a yellow flag where the correspondence starts.
Yes.
Initially on the 28th of July, they advised that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, their senior people would not be able to travel from China. And then they went on in paragraph 4 to say they want to avail themselves of their rights in terms of Rule 3.9 to apply for leave to make legal submissions. And they said they would do that before the 25th of August. If you go to the next letter, on the 7th of August, they then reaffirmed their position. And what then happened on the 18th of August, Chairperson, you'll see the next letter. This essentially purports to be a set of Rule 3.9 submissions in support of the statement and annexures that had already been filed. You will then see, if you go to the next letter, that yesterday, under the hand of the acting secretary of the Commission, they were advised that they would still be required to appear today, and they would be required, one, to place on record that they no longer intend to adduce oral evidence at the Commission, pursuant to their Rule 3.3.6 read with 3.4 application granted on the 25th of March, and secondly, that they would seek leave from you, Chairperson, to no longer adduce oral evidence. And that then takes us to the last letter that we received in response, where they record in paragraph 1 at the end that they no longer wish to adduce oral evidence at the Commission. In paragraph 2, they say that they're not in a position to arrange a legal representation today at short notice. But it's really paragraphs 3, 4, and 5, Chairperson, that are important, and I'll read them into the record. Paragraph 3, as regards the matter of adducing oral evidence before at Commission, we reiterate that based on the advice of counsel sought earlier in this regard, we have come to the considered decision not to adduce evidence orally over and above the statement dated 12 July 2019 and related annexures filed with the Commission and resubmitted with a covering letter dated 18 August 2020 to the Commission. 4, accordingly, we humbly request the Chairperson to record this accordingly. 5, we trust that the Chairperson will grant our request accordingly at tomorrow's hearing. So what seems clear then is that they have abandoned the application to adduce oral evidence. What they seem to want to do is to rely on the statement and the Rule 3.9 submissions. That's something, I suppose, the status of those things would have to be dealt with and grappled with in time. But as of now, it seems clear that their request is to no longer adduce oral evidence and for you to permit that, Chairperson.
No, that's fine. I see that they made the approach much earlier than I thought they had, sometime on 28th July. I think that that's fine. I grant them leave not to adduce evidence, oral evidence, but the proviso that I would make is that that would not preclude the Commission, should the Commission consider that there are aspects in respect of which it might wish to have oral evidence from one or more of their personnel to approach them for that purpose. Obviously, to the extent that such people might be out of our jurisdiction, that would be one thing, but it may well be that their attitude might be that they would cooperate if the Commission would like to question some of their personnel. But for now, I grant the leave requested on that understanding.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. And you are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairperson, we were scheduled to hear evidence of 4 witnesses. 2 witnesses are coming under a subpoena, and one of the witnesses is Mr. Thomas Jotina. He is represented by Mr. Kevin Hyde, and Mr. Kevin Hyde would like to make some representations and bring something to the attention of the Commission. The Hyde is here too.
Well, somebody must just sanitize before Mr. Hyde comes to the podium. Good morning.
On behalf of Mr. Thomas Jotina,
Yes.
who has indicated that if he was to give evidence, he would prefer to actually give evidence in Sutu.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it appears that there is no Sutu interpreter
Yes.
available today. However, as discussed, in order to move the process forward, my client is happy to provide a statement in response to the allegations made by the witness Dube.
Yes.
And that I will work with him to prepare that statement and make it available to the Commission by close of business this Friday, which is, I think, the 28th.
Yes.
In addition, he will then be available on short notice
Yes.
by arrangement with my colleague
Yes.
to appear to answer any specific
Yes.
questions should
Yes.
that prove necessary.
Yes. Okay, no, that's fine. So what we'll do then is we'll adjourn the hearing of his evidence, and I approve the arrangement we have made with Mr. Noche, namely that by close of business on Friday this week, you will furnish the commission with a statement or affidavit, preferably an affidavit or affirm declaration. And after that, depending on the content of the affidavit or declaration, then it may be necessary for him to come and give oral evidence. So he's excused today on that understanding, on the understanding that he will be notified as to the date when he should come back.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Chair, the next witness to testify is Ms. Bongiwe Dube. Ms. Dube gave a statement and she's here.
Well, maybe you should first just give, for the benefit of those who are watching or listening, announce what today's evidence, to which work stream it relates, and what it is about, and its connection with other witnesses' evidence.
Yes. Chair, the evidence today is the evidence of relating to Bosasa activities. And the evidence of Mr. Agrizi was to the effect that Bosasa gave some presents in the form of meat, drinks, and to one of the people, Mrs. Mokonyane, and other people. And one of the people who were involved in the Bosasa, who was responsible to arrange that, was Mrs. Dube. And Mrs. Dube was arranging those deliveries, and you've just heard the evidence of a witness, Mr. Jotina, who has been excused from testifying. Mr. Jotina is one of the drivers that Mrs. Dube says he did the deliveries. So the evidence of Mrs. Dube is in relation to the deliveries that were made by Bosasa to people, including Mrs. Mokonyane.
Your witnesses for today are Ms. Dube, Mr. Coetzee, Ms. S. Thomas, and F.T. Jotina, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The evidence that will be led today relates to Bosasa. Ms. Dube will give evidence that will relate to allegations made by Mr. Agrizi in his evidence to the effect that certain items, including grocery items, were delivered to Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane. She'll give evidence of what she knows about that. Mr. Jotina, who was going to give evidence, is said to have been a driver at Bosasa, and according to Ms. Dube, he made some deliveries. He is not going to testify today. His statement will be filed on Friday, and arrangements will be made for him to testify in due course. Mr. F.H. Coetzee will be called today. He is the owner of a certain guest house. His evidence will relate to the evidence given by Mr. Agrizi. Mr. Agrizi testified that, or deposed to an affidavit and testified, or deposed to an affidavit that Bosasa organized and paid for the 50th birthday party for Miss Nomvula Mokonyane at the particular guest house, and he said that he attended that party and he was coordinating arrangements for that party. Since then, the Commission's investigators have been able to speak to or interview and obtain an affidavit from the owner of the guest house, Mr. Coetzee. He will give evidence with regard to what party, if any, was held in that guest house relating to Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane. The other witness is Ms. S. Thomas. She used to be the PA to Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, and she will give evidence with regard to what she may know about interactions between Bosasa and Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane. Yeah.
Chair, may I just indicate, even at this early stage, that we have not seen Ms. Sandy Thomas yet.
Yes.
Although there is a return of service that
Yes.
she was served, but we'll deal with that
Yeah.
when we come to that
Yes.
stage of the proceedings.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Ms. Bongiwe Dube is to testify.
Please administer the oath of affirmation. Well, if she was served and we have a return of service, then the police would have to be conducted
Yes,
to deal with non-compliance with a summons criminally.
yes, Judge, the chairperson, when the time comes for her to testify and she's still not here, and then I will ask the chair to authorize that a charge be laid against her with the police.
Administer the oath and or affirmation.
Please state your full names for the record.
Sorry, just remove your mask a bit so that we can hear you, and then raise your voice a bit. Okay, start afresh.
Please state your full names for the record.
Bongiwe Dube.
Do you have any objection in taking the prescribed affirmation? Do you have any objection in taking the prescribed affirmation?
No.
Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you will give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, I truly affirm.
I truly affirm.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Chair, I understand from the people who are looking after the records that as per your directions, there's a new bundle that has been compiled, and it's bundle 1. And all the evidence of the witness, all the statements of the witnesses who are testifying today will be under that bundle, although they'll be under separate exhibit numbers. So the evidence of the statement of Ms. Dube will be in bundle 1, but exhibit
Yeah, well,
T25.
don't say bundle 1 because I'm sure there is bundle 1 somewhere. I think it's written here Bosasa bundle 01. That might just make it different from another bundle 1.
I understand.
Yeah.
So it's
Bosasa bundle.
It's Bosasa bundle 01.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And then the statement of Mrs. Bongiwe Dube is exhibit T25 in that bundle.
Yes.
Mrs. Dube, you have a bundle in front of you?
Yes.
Can you look at what is on page 1, which is after the cover sheet index exhibit T25, there is what is written page 1. You see that?
Yes.
I'm looking at
and
the
if
red
you-
numbers.
I beg your pardon.
Red numbers.
Yes. Are you looking at you look at the red numbers, Ms. Dube, am I right? Yes. Now, Ms. Dube, look at that statement and go to page 4 of that statement, the red 4.
Yes.
There, just above
Please
the
raise
words.
your voice, Ms. Dube, so that what you say can be captured and recorded.
What you can do, Ms. Dube, is to lower the microphone towards you.
Okay.
Ms. Dube, there is on page 4, there's above the word signed, there's the initials B-E Dube. Is that your signature?
Yes.
Ms. Dube, do you confirm that this statement is your statement?
Yes.
And you took an oath to it?
Positive.
Yes. Now, Ms. Dube, do you confirm that you previously worked at Bosasa?
Yes.
And what was your position?
I was the unit leader.
When did you join Bosasa?
2013.
Now, what were your duties?
I first started, I was in the catering side with the food deliveries, ordering, and just seeing that all the inmates, everybody has eaten. That was my duty.
So it's close to all the inmates of what?
I first started in the prisons,
I see.
working in the prisons.
Now, on paragraph 4, on page 1 of the statement, you deal with what you were doing in Bosasa. Can you read that for the record?
On
Page 4, your page 1, paragraph 4, at the bottom of page 1.
I'm sorry, why do you want her to read that?
I beg your pardon?
Why do you want her to read that?
It's just the duties of what she was doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, page 3, paragraph 3.
Paragraph 4, it's,
Oh,
maybe I'm lost. Which one?
oh, if you ask her to tell me her duties, she won't need to read. She knows what her duties were. It's not a long list.
no, that's fine. Yes.
At Bosasa, I was running the diner and the kitchen. Is this the statement which you want?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Dube will have to do something about your voice. It's very low.
Come closer, Mr.
Yeah, and raise your voice.
Okay. At Bosasa head office, I was running the diner and the kitchen. This was for the staff guest meetings. People who attended training. We also provided catering to the training rooms where necessary.
Yeah, Mr. Nosha,
And then you're all over the page.
no, she mustn't read. She can just tell us. Tell the story. She knows what she was doing. What were your duties at Bosasa when you were working at the head office?
When I was working at head office, we were doing catering for the staff members, for the staff who are coming for training, for visitors which will be visiting Bosasa.
Yes.
Yes, and then with some entertainments which were doing fundraising and
Yes. And who was in charge of the kitchen? Or that's not the, the kitchen. Were you in charge of the kitchen?
I was in charge of the kitchen even though they were my seniors on top.
Yes. Okay. Take it from there, Mr. Nocha.
Who were your seniors on top?
Sorry,
Who were your seniors above you?
they were my seniors, yes.
Who were they?
Alisa Iso,
Yes.
yes.
And who else?
And then the rest were the bosses like Gavin Watson, Angela Grace, and all of them.
Tell me, who was before you in your position?
It was Catering Matabati.
I see. Now, with the issue of delivery of food, who instructed you, who gave you instructions as to what should be delivered and where?
Alista was the one who was telling us what we'll do, what we'll arrange, and then where will it be delivered.
Is there any other person besides him?
In fact, he and I was also getting it from the tops.
Yes.
But
In your,
he was my senior.
What was Alistair's name?
Alista Iso. Alista Iso,
ISO,
yes.
EWSO.
EWSAU.
Yeah, okay.
Now, in your statement, you also mentioned Papa Lishabane. What was he?
Papa Lishabane was the leader as well, was one of the directors.
Where at Bosasa?
Yes.
Did you also give instructions for the deliveries?
Yes.
Now, you also in your statement deal with the deliveries over Christmas time in December.
Yes.
Can you tell the commission about that?
The deliveries for Christmas times were maybe for churches, and then for Nomvula Mokonyane, I didn't do one, or I wasn't allowed to.
What did you do in respect of her?
Actually, Catering was to do it
I see.
because she was still my senior, even though there were some other things which I don't know what was the order, so she knew better.
Look this side, Ms. Dube.
Okay.
I'm the one you are telling the story to. Okay. So I can hear you properly. You are looking that way and your voice is soft. Yes, okay. Continue, Mr.
And
Nosh.
you were saying you were not allowed to deliver. You did deliveries regarding Mrs. Nomvula Mokonyane. Who didn't allow you to do that?
According to it, I was like new to join head office.
I don't think she said she was not allowed to do deliveries.
To arrange. She says you are not allowed to arrange deliveries.
Yeah, the arranging part, I think is what she was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. You say Miss Catherine Matabate was the one who was responsible for making arrangements for deliveries to Miss Mokonyane. This was in respect of what? The Christmas period?
Yes.
And the first Christmas period that you were at Bosasa, when was which year?
When she wasn't there, still she did it. How I find out is the time when we closed, then at head office, and then food boys where I was ordering, they phoned me and asked me there is such a delivery which is here, but we understand you are closed, so where is it going? And then that's when I found out that it was for Catherine Matavate and it was for Mokonyane.
Now, were there other orders for people outside of Bosasa that had to be attended to during a Christmas period other than Miss Nomvula Mokonyane?
Except for fundraising, like going to Para and maybe send some small.
Yeah,
do some
not for
small
individuals. Not for individuals.
No.
It was only for organizations and
Yes,
institutions.
Yes.
How were orders treated? Were they labeled and given names, or the people working in the kitchen always knew that this order is for Miss Nomvula Mokonyane, this one is for Baraka Kwanath, this one is for another institution?
No, they were not labeled.
They were not labeled.
It was just like if you know that there will be such a thing which will happen
Yeah,
in such a place, that's when you know that this is going there.
yeah. Okay. Continue, Mr. Noche.
Now, just going back to the delivery, the incident in 2016, when you say you were phoned by the food boys and you were closed, did you call Mrs. Matavate about the order that you were asked about by the food boys?
She did, yes, I did call, and she said it's organized, it's fine.
I see. And then in your statement, you also say there was a large order of meat, and then you gave an estimation. How did you arrive at the estimation of the amount?
It's according to the people from Food Boys when they call me to ask
Well,
me.
let's deal with it this way. Did you ever see the order for Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane?
No,
You never saw it. You only heard about it. And from whom did you hear about it?
I heard it from when the Food Boys people called me.
Who are Food Boys?
It was the company for meat.
Is that what it was called? Is that what the company was called, Food Boys?
Yes,
Okay, that's the name of the company.
the company.
Were they providing meat to Bosasa, or what
Yes.
were they doing?
Yes, that's where I was ordering my meat from.
So part of your job was to order meat from Food Boys. Part of your job
Yes.
was to order meat from the Food Boys.
Yeah, to order meat and everything almost what we were using for catering.
Yes.
Yes,
But
even
Food
though it
Boys
was-
only provided meat, or they also provided other things?
No,
other
they were only providing meat.
Oh, so your duties included ordering whatever the kitchen needed,
Yes.
including meat. Did you order meat only from Food Boys, or did you also order it from some other place?
There were some other places which we were ordering from.
Yes. So just go back to how you came to hear about an order for Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane. Just tell me the story as it happened.
How I find out about it is the time when I was asking that there is such a delivery, like we are closed, and there is a delivery which is supposed to come here, and these people are asking what is it for and what must I do about it. And then that's where I found out it's for Nomvula Mokonyane.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
mustn't worry about it.
Okay. Did you call the Food Boys for some reason, and then they told you about
The Food Boys
this order?
called me
They called you.
because they wanted to know, since I'm closed,
Since you are,
the head office was closed by that time
or was closed
Yes.
for the Christmas break?
for the Christmas break. So
Yes.
they called me to ask me, there is such a big order here.
They said there is a big order.
It's such a big order here
Yeah.
done by Catering Matabati.
Yeah,
But you are closed. Where is it going to?
yes.
Then I said to them, I have got no clue, but I know we are closed. Let me confirm. And then that's when I found out, no, I mustn't worry about it. It's for Nomvula Mokonyane.
So you didn't ask whose order it was?
They told me the order is for Catering Matabati, but for
Yes,
Bosasa.
yes.
Yes.
But then they told you, don't worry, it's from Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane.
Yes.
Okay.
Judge, can I come and just
Yeah.
clarify before we get there? You say the Food Boys said there's a big order there for Catherine. Am I right?
Yes.
And then you phoned Catherine to ask what is going on about the order.
And then Catherine explained to me that I mustn't worry about it. Yes.
Yes. Just
Okay, so the Food Boys are not the ones who told you that the order was for Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane.
No.
They told you there was a
There
big
is a big
order,
order for me.
and they
like
wanted to find out what should be done with it because the office was closed.
Yes.
And then you phoned Ms. Matabata, and she said, don't worry, it's for Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane.
Yes.
Okay, and, okay, take it from there.
and then you then say Ms. Matabata said you shouldn't worry about it. She will deal with it.
Yes.
Now, in your statement, you say the same occurred the following year in December 2017. When you say that, what do you mean? You say the same occurred in 2017. What occurred in 2017, December 2017?
The 2017, like 2016, I was new.
Yes.
2017, it didn't come straight to me again because, like, I was, if you deal with something from before. It wasn't easy that I can jump and take over the order.
Look this side, Ms. Dube.
It wasn't easy to take over the order for that. So same okay that next year, the next 2017, still the order wasn't done by me.
Okay, the evidence you gave earlier on, when you say the food boys called you, which year was that?
It was 2017. It was 2017.
It was 2017. Okay. And after Ms. Matabat had spoken to you and said, don't worry, that order is for Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, do you know what happened about that order?
Obviously, it was delivered. It was delivered to her.
Why do you say obviously?
Because if it was ordered, it has to go for delivery.
But you don't know that, isn't it? Do you know that?
No.
You don't know that. You just assume it was delivered. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But you never had anything to do with it after Ms. Matabat had spoken to you?
No. I didn't do
you
follow-up.
did not see it, you didn't see the actual parcel, you didn't see anybody delivering it, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any understanding as to who would normally make deliveries to people of orders for meat and other things?
As I say that we're having the drivers at the head office which were doing the deliveries. As I was saying that the deliveries were done by our drivers.
Yeah, were there a number of drivers?
For head office, the driver we had was Thomas Jotina.
Sorry?
Thomas Jotina.
Was there only one driver?
There were some, but the one who was working for head office was him.
Who was working for?
For head office.
For head office?
Yes.
There was only one for
Yes.
head office?
Yes.
That was Mr. Jotina?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, can I just ask Ms. Dube, just say, don't move up and
Yeah, don't move. Stand-
your
yeah,
voice
just
moving up.
Sit still, yeah. Sit still. Okay, Mr. Noche?
Now, when did you start at the head office?
2013.
2013. And then when did you start dealing with all the food boys?
I started when I was at head office.
2013.
In 2016 when I joined head office.
Now, after the incident, wherein the food boys called you about the large parcel, did they ever call you again?
No.
So you don't know whether
Because
this...
2017, 2018, I didn't finish up. There was no more Christmas, like I was no longer with the company.
I see. So, so the only incident that they called you was that one incident when they said there was a large order and it's for Ms. Catering.
Yes.
I see. Now, were you ever involved in other issues like birthdays for people?
We only we only did a birthday once for Jacob Soma.
Who gave you instructions to do that?
We were instructed by Alisa Iso.
What did you do as a staff for that birthday?
We just ordered the cake, then we arranged some simple things like snacks and all those things.
I see. Now, in your statement, you also deal with the politicians who attended the Bosasa head office.
Yes, when they were having their own meeting, when they were having meetings, we were catering for them.
Were delivering, what did you cater for them?
No, like we're cooking food, like there's a big meeting, then we do food for them, offer them drinks and all those things.
Can you remember which politicians you saw?
I saw Fikile Mbalula. I saw Kwete Mantache. I saw different, even.
You say that was during election campaigns?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you also mentioned in your statement the destruction of documents. What were these documents that were destroyed?
Those documents were just documents. I cannot explain what was it, but it was just time of cleaning after Angelo Agres left. There was cleaning of changings of things.
I see. And then lastly, you say in your statement that you were in the end dismissed by Bosasa.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the evidence of the witness.
Do you know what the monetary value was of the order for Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane that the food boys called you about? Or the price, do you know what it was or do you not know?
The price, they just explained something like there is a big order for about 17,000, which we have here.
That's what they said.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's what they said. You don't know about it, but that's what they told you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. The food boys, when you left Bosasa, was that company still there? Or you don't know?
Yeah, I think it's still.
Do you know if it is still there now?
Yes, I hope it's still available.
Do you know or you don't know? When last did you?
It's been long. I last to speak to them because I never ordered from them, but I know they're still available.
Yeah, in 2019, were they still there? Do you know?
Yes, yes.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Yes. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you for coming to give evidence. You are excused.
Thank you.
You may go.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the next witness is Mr. Frederick Hendrick Coetzee. Chair, is as we indicated in the opening address that Mr. Coetzee is the owner of the guest house.
Let him get seated first. Let them finish what they're doing. Yes. Yes, Mr. Nasha.
Mr. Coetzee, Chair, is the owner of Victorian Guest House, and the Chair will remember that there was the evidence of Mr. Agrizi that there was a birthday party held at the Victorian Guest House for the 50th birthday of Ms. Mokonyane. And your Chair will remember that Ms. Mokonyane testified to the fact that no birthday party was ever held at that guest house, neither 40th nor 50th nor any other birthday party was held at that place. And now, Chair, the statement has been obtained from Mr. Coetzee.
Did she go that far?
Yes, she went that far, Chair.
To say no birthday party was held at the Victorian Guest House for her.
Yes, no, she went that far. We
You
clarified that.
You clarified,
We
okay.
clarified that
Okay.
it's no 40th, no 50th, and no birthday party.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Coetzee is to
Okay.
testify.
Yes, please administer the oath of affirmation. Just press it so that, yeah, thank you.
Please state your full names for the record.
Frederick Hendrick Coetzee.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No, I don't.
Do you consider the oath to be binding on your conscience?
Yes, I do.
Do you swear that the evidence will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you. You may be seated, Mr. Coetzee.
Now, Mr. Coetzee, there's a bundle in front of you.
Yeah.
It's written Bosasa Bundle 1.
Yes.
Can I ask you to turn to Exhibit 26? You will see there's a tag, 26, and then below that you will see, and underneath that, there's Exhibit T26
Yes.
with written Frederick Hendrick Coetzee.
Mr. Noche, you forgot to ask me to admit Ms. Bongiwe Dube's statement as an exhibit.
Yes, Chair, I beg your pardon, miss. Can that be admitted as Exhibit T25?
What exhibit?
T25, Chair.
Ms. Bongiwe Dube's affidavit is admitted and will be marked as exhibit T25.
In Bosasa Bundle 1.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Now, Mr. Coetzee, can you look at as a document, as an affidavit that appears on, when I talk about page, when I refer to pages, I'm referring to red pages at the right-hand top corner of. It appears on page 1 and up to the affidavit itself. It goes from page 1 to this one, like the last page, to page 4 of that document.
Yes.
And then there's also a signature there. Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
And then that affidavit is accompanied by a number of annexures. The last annexure is at page 16.
Yes.
We'll go through those. Do you confirm that this affidavit is your affidavit
It is
together
mine.
with annexures?
It is mine indeed, yes.
Mr. Coetzee, can you just tell the court your history as the owner of the Victorian Guest House? When did you become the owner?
I've been involved with the guest house since 2000, early 2000, as co-owner with my mother, which unfortunately and subsequently passed away in November 2018. Since then, I have been the sole owner up to currently.
Can you confirm the address of the name is Victoria Guest House?
Victorian Guest House.
Can you confirm the address?
It's A1, Tom Miller Street, West Village, Krugersdorp.
Now, there is evidence of Mr. Agrizi that he coordinated a birthday party, 50th birthday party, break the leg at the Victorian Guest House situated at that address. Do you remember a birthday party coordinated by Mr. Agrizi?
I do, but not the original as I was initially inquired about. Ms. Mokonyane had her 40th in 2003, which was arranged by Mr. Agrizi itself, between Mr. Agrizi and myself.
I see. Now, and who paid for the birthday party?
Well, maybe before that, maybe Mr. Coetzee can just tell me how it came about, because sort of from reading his affidavit, I think he has a fair recollection of how it came about. How did it come about that you hosted Ms. Mokonyane's 40th birthday party?
Bosasa was one of my corporate clients, and faithfully so for many years. We just down the road from one another. Up until that point, they have used my guest house as venue. I then got a call from Mr. Coetzee himself, asking me, for a quick meeting. He and somebody else from Bosasa, which I can't recall her name, then came to the guest house itself, inquiring to do this function, also informing me who the function would be for, as well as stating, to answer your question, that Bosasa will be paying for the entire event.
And who did he say the function was going to be for?
It was for then Minister Safety and Security, Nomvula Mokonyane.
So at that time, she was MEC for Safety and Security in Gauteng.
Yeah.
Yes. So, so Mr. Coetzee is the one who called you, and he said they were looking to do a birthday function for Ms. Mokonyane.
Yes.
And that they would be responsible as Bosasa for paying for
the account, yeah.
for that function.
Yes.
Yes. At that stage, did he tell you how many guests they were looking at having?
Initially, it was for 80.
For 80.
80.
Yes.
Which then subsequently went up to 120. That was the final confirmed numbers for the event.
Yeah.
At the day of the event, when the guests started arriving, that exponentially grew to 174.
Yes. So it started being a function that was meant for 80 people, yes. And then the numbers went up to 120.
Yes.
But on the day of the function, the numbers went up to 174.
174, that's correct, yeah.
Yes. Do you remember the date when the function was held? Or you can look in your affidavit.
I think it was the end of June 2003.
I
think
there's an invoice on page 6. Will that help, Mr. Coetzee?
Just quickly go there. That was when the invoice was originally submitted for the 80 guests.
Yeah.
The final one was submitted only later.
Yes.
I see on the invoice where it says attention. It says attention, Angelo Coetzee for event, and then...
That's the invoice at page
the 28th of June, yeah.
I'm sorry. Are we looking at the invoice at page 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, under tab 26. Mr. Nocha, shouldn't we be using the black numbers?
No, I'm using the red numbers. Yeah?
No, I think you may have forgotten. You see, if you use these red numbers, are you not going to run into the problem? Yes, you'll run into the problem that under different tags you start afresh. I think it's the black numbers that are used because they start from page 1 and go up to the last page. I think we should use the black numbers.
That's fine.
So the invoice we are talking about, it appears at page 14 if you look at the top left corner, the
Yes.
black numbers. So it says, attention, Mr. Angelo Coetzee. And then it says for event 28 June 2003.
Yes.
Would that be the date when the event was
be
going
the actual date itself, yeah.
Yes.
Event took place.
Yes. Okay, continue, Mr. Nosha, but I would like him to just tell me
Yes.
how everything unfolded as he remembers it.
Now, you've just told the chair that the event was for 80 people, and then it increased to 120 people. How did you manage to then cater for these increased numbers?
Normally, as a venue, when we do events, you cater for 10, 15 people extra. Luckily for us, for that evening, the speeches was quite long, which then we in the kitchens managed to get enough food. We changed the menu slightly to accommodate everybody. And as I said, luckily for the speeches being so long, managed to actually produce food for all the people attending the event.
Now, can you just tell the commission about the arrangement? You provided food, and then who provided the drinks?
This was part of the agreement in our initial contract with Mr. Agrisi, that Bosasa would be bringing in all the beverage. Let me rephrase, not all the beverage, majority of the beverage. We would do arrival drinks, wine, and sparkling wine for the speeches. The rest was all brought in and sponsored by Bosasa.
And on paragraph 14 on page 10, you mention the liquor store which sponsored this. Can you explain that to the commission?
How I know which store it was, the next day, whatever was left over, a few crates of mixes, like we call it in our industry, are personally delivered back to this liquor store.
Mr. Coetzee, I don't know. It's like every witness today, their voice is very soft.
Sorry.
So please try and raise your voice and don't be too far from the mic. Yes, okay. Just repeat what you said just before I interrupted you.
I personally, whatever was left over from the event, the next morning, I personally took back to the liquor store. It was, I think, 2 or 3 crates of mixes. Sorry. Initially, when it was delivered, it was quite a substantial amount of boxes, which is unusual for the size of the event as well. So, yeah.
How much liquor do you know? Can you estimate? Where did you have to put the liquor?
It was delivered actually in one of my garages, which was one side of a guy to remove a car. It was, as I said, it was quite a substantial amount of alcohol delivered.
Yes.
For this event.
Okay.
Well, what type of liquor was this? Can you remember?
It was also the upper range of brandies, KWV, Johnny Walker Blacks and Reds. It was the normal malt whiskies or anything like that, but it was the upper range of each brand.
That was a long time ago.
Yes.
Close to, it's about what, 18 years?
Yes.
About 18 years now. How is it that you seem to remember this function so well?
Chair, in our industry, you can almost speak to anybody that's been in it for a long time. There's certain events that do just stuck in your head, of which this event is one of them. One, because we had to scramble behind doors to get extra food done, to get extra seating done, the prestige of the event. Although I personally and the guest house has catered for very high profile people, it is sometimes just small things that get stuck in your head. And when the day I did my affidavit, when I collected that, I spoke to one of my staff members, and even they said, "Oh well, yeah, this one it was in 2003." So there's certain events that just get stuck in your head for quite a long time.
In terms of the profile of the function, was it quite usual for your guest house to host functions of that profile at that time?
Not for us personally.
Yeah.
I've done quite a number of events personally, for heads of state, quite high-profile celebrities, both local and international, as well as for my mother.
Yes.
For the guest house itself, that was the first high-profile event we did for the government.
Yes.
But either prior and post that event, We have
Yes.
done quite significant number of high-profile
Yes.
events for people, yes.
So while you and your mom may have been involved in high-profile functions, this was the first high-profile function for this guest house.
For Victorian Guest House itself, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you. And are you able to say Ms. Mokonyane was there in the function?
I was personally introduced to her.
Yes.
I ran the function, operation-wise.
Yes.
The event went on for quite late that evening as well.
Yes.
Of which, at a certain point, I sent all the staff home.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was there up until the last guest left.
Yes.
And as I said, during the course of the evening, I was introduced to her personally as well.
Yes. And was Mr. Akrizi at the function as well?
Yes, they were.
He was
and
there.
Gavin Watson, yeah.
Yes. Are there any other persons of high profile that you can remember were also there or not really?
Exactly name-wise, I cannot, but I
Yes,
can definitely
okay.
tell you there were.
Yes.
As that is the reason why the speeches went on for 3.5 hours.
Yes.
A few ministers made some speeches,
Yes.
other than just a normal raise a glass and toast.
Okay. Mr. Noshu.
After you had been contacted by the investigators of the commission, did you go to your archives to look for documents, invoices relating to this?
Yeah.
Can we turn to page 14, the black 14? That's an invoice.
Yes.
Is this the invoice for the event?
Yes, it is.
And we see the invoice is invoice to Bosasa, is from Victorian Guest House to Bosasa,
Yes, it is.
and it's for attention of Mr. Akrizi.
Yeah.
And then it lists the items that were
Yes.
that were to be paid for.
Yes, it is.
Now,
I'm sorry. Would you ask him to just read those items?
can you go through those items that we invoiced for?
And physically read you each.
Yes, please.
Okay. It was 574 people for catering, flowers, some venue hire, because of the function going on quite late that evening. The chair covers hired in for the event, set layout, free drinks prior to the event, wine, both red and white, for the events, J.C. LaRue for the speeches, and then a bar corkage fee.
And then there's also a thank you payment for 25,080 rand. What was that?
Yes, that was on the initial invoice.
Yes.
For the 80 people, and then obviously subsequent to the numbers increasing so drastically, the final invoice was submitted.
So this 16 was for the people you said were not catered for in the beginning.
Yes.
I see.
So the invoice, you had to add 16,757 rand 50 cents and 50 cents as a result of the increase in numbers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the total function cost how much? That's 25,080 rand plus 16,757.50 cents. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's adding the two. They have not been added here, or are they added somewhere
it's
else?
roughly about 41,000, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that would be 35, 40, it looks like 41,000 something.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be 41,000 and some change.
That sounds more or less.
Okay, all right. So that was more or less what you charged for doing that function for Ms. Mokonyane's 40th birthday party in 2003.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And then there was also a garage full of liquor
Yeah.
that had been obtained from the in this bottle store.
Yes.
So the liquor that had been provided by Bosasa is not included here, obviously.
That's not included.
Yes,
That was why the corkage fee at the bottom of the invoice,
yes.
or the last item listed on the invoice.
So
Is for them to allow to bring it in.
So if one includes that, then Bosasa must have paid quite a substantial amount, much more substantial than 41,000.
You can almost ease the amount of alcohol that was, I would even estimate almost double this invoice, yeah.
Well, you deal with functions regularly.
Yeah.
Are you able to give an estimate of what the function must have cost Bosasa when you include the liquor? Obviously, you don't have an itemized bill relating to liquor, but you saw how much it was. You say it took quite a substantial part of your garage.
If I have to make a good guess, not even a quarter of that, which would be sufficient for about 250 guests. And that would have cost you about anything between 7,000 to 10,000 rand on that stage.
About how much?
7,000 to 10,000 rand.
Yes.
And that was about 3 times more delivered for this event.
So your estimate would be
I would give a rough estimate between 30 to 40,000.
just for the liquor?
Just for liquor, yeah.
Yeah, so if you add what you charged, that could come to about 80,000 or thereabout.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Then you have also attached to your affidavit exhibits, page 16 and 17. There seems to be some fancy
You
chairs.
said exhibit, you mean page?
I beg your pardon,
pages 16
pages
and 17.
16 and 17, the black 16 and
Yeah.
17.
What is on page 16 there, Mr. Coetzee?
This is basically Daiku of the tables itself.
Yes,
In the background, you'll see photographs as gifts for Mrs. Mokonyane,
yes,
which you will also see on page 17.
Yes.
That was gifted by Bosasa that I know of.
yes.
And this is just of individual place settings and chair covers and et cetera, as well as flower arrangements for the
Yes.
event.
Yes. And then, of course, page 18 is also, does it also reflect what was on a certain table, I guess? The decor and the glasses
Yeah, just
and the
more,
cutlery.
more, close up of a individual place setting.
Yes.
And then
Yes, Mr. Marsha.
on page 20 to 24, this looks like the invoices that were invoiced to you for what you had supplied. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, what is it?
From page 20 to 24, Chair, the invoices that were issued to the Victorian Guest House.
Yeah, for extra,
Yes. Yeah.
decor that we hired in for this event.
I'm sorry, let's take it one at a time. What invoices are these?
The first one on page 20 is for the wine that we obtained and we had to serve. Page 22.
And the one at page 20, the total is 1,860 rand 10 cents, is that right?
Yes.
And that, it's written exactly what wine you bought for
For the event itself, yes.
Yeah. And then page 22, what invoice is that?
That is
From whom to whom?
It's from classic function hire to Victorian Guest House
Yeah.
for chair covers and gold tie-back tassels. which
And the amount is 1,320.
was, 1,320.
Yes.
And then a local hiring company in Krugersdorp as well, in Rankendahl,
Yeah.
for extra tables and some cutlery.
Yes. Okay. And 23?
That's 23 and 24.
That's 23 and 24.
Yeah.
Okay, that's for, among others, the furniture, tables, and other things that you needed for the function. Is that right?
Second, sir?
23 and 24, that's for the furniture, tables, as well as other items that you needed for the function.
For the function itself, yeah.
Yes. Tablecloths and black napkins, that appears at page 24. At page 23, what's the total there that appears on the invoice?
It's 836 for the two invoices together.
I see 615, 96 rand. Are we on the same page?
On page 23, Mr.
Page 23, black 23?
Yes, 615.
I have 615,96, is that right?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Okay.
And then the second one from the same company is for 221 rand.
Oh, when you add them together, that's how
Yes.
you come to 8, yeah. Okay. Yes, Mr. Notcher?
Chair, that's the evidence of Mr. Coetzee. Can that be, the affidavit can then be admitted as Exhibit T26, together with the annexures thereto?
T,
T26, Exhibit T26.
Mr. Frederick Hendrick Coetzee affidavit is admitted and will be marked as Exhibit T26. Now, how long did the function take? Do you remember?
It went on, I think it was 3:30, 4:45 in the morning.
In the morning?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And this was the only function relating to Ms. Mokonyane's birthday party that
Yes.
you hosted. Okay. Yes. No, thank you very much.
Just one question. to the
Yes,
witness.
okay.
Mr. Agrizi said the party was supposed to be break the leg. Did anyone break a leg?
No, hopefully not.
Thank you, Chair.
Do you remember if there was a theme for the party?
Not
really.
No, there was.
Yeah. I see that there is nowhere written, Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, on the invoices. That must be because she was not going to pay. It was
Yeah.
Bosasa was going to pay. That's why you have got Bosasa and Mr. Agrizi's name on the invoices.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, all right. But you are quite clear that this function was for Ms. Mokonyane's 40th birthday party. You are not mistaken about that.
I can definitely state that for the record. It was definitely.
Yes. And you say it was organized by Mr. Agrizi.
Yeah,
And Bosasa paid.
definitely, yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Coetzee, for coming to assist the commission. We appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. You are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next witness was supposed to testify as Miss Sandy Thomas. And I've not seen her, I've not been contacted by her. And Chair, the summons calling her to testify appears in Exhibit T27. And can I take you, Chair, to page 57 of this bundle, where we have the return of service in respect thereof, in that she was...
Has she made contact with the commission at all, or through herself or through attorneys?
No, I've not received anything.
And
The
not at all since the summons was served?
what I had received a call from the attorneys, Matlanga attorneys,
Yeah,
to say they represent her as well.
yeah,
And they indicated that they might ask for time. But I had said then that if they want to do that, one, they must write to the commission,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they will be told the commission will respond.
Yeah.
But I told them that my view is that they will have to appear.
Yes.
She'll have to appear and then apply here for a postponement of whatever.
Yes.
As for instance, Mr. Jotina did.
Yes.
Where he appeared and then applied for a postponement.
Yes.
And I've heard nothing from that, and I've not seen any correspondence.
Okay, well, how long ago was it when they called you?
It was last week, I think about Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to adjourn. I suggest that contact be made with them or with Ms. Thomas if there is contact, but certainly with the attorneys. To say,
No, I'll definitely call the attorney.
say-
Fortunately, I have.
To say she's not here and they are not here, what's going on, simply because that firm seemed to cooperate with the commission quite well when Ms. Mokonyane was going to give evidence, if I
Yes.
recall correctly. Just in case there is something,
Yes.
I think I will adjourn, and then when I come back, you can then tell me what's going on.
I'll do that.
So we'll adjourn for 20 minutes, just to give you a little bit of more time.
Thank
so
you.
we'll resume at 22:12.
Thank you, Chair.
Then you can give me a report of what's going on.
Thank you, Chair.
We adjourn.
They're getting the chit chat from the live stream, it's not off. You know,
The witness, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Madlanga, he informs me that he had briefed counsel to appear, but I told him that no one appeared. And he's on his way to the commission, and he indicated that he is going to apply for a postponement of the evidence of the witness. And he said he estimates that he would be here at about 12:10.
Okay, I think we are going to adjourn. I think you must inform him. I'll adjourn until 2.
That's fine.
Let him be here at 2, but with the witness.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because the witness was served with summons to be here. And if he is going to apply for a postponement, that application must happen at a time when the witness is in compliance with the summons.
Understand.
And that means being here. Even if she was supposed to be at 9 and she was not here, but I have difficulty with the idea where a summons has been issued and served, that you can apply for a postponement with the client or witness not being there, unless it is a situation where the witness is sick. Then that's different. But so I think if the witness is not here at 2 when he's here, then I'll have to hear what the good reason is why the witness is not there.
I understand.
Yeah, and then if he has an application to move, then we'll deal with it then. But if the application is moved in circumstances where the witness continues to be in breach of the summons, that might pose difficulties for the application.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we'll adjourn until 2 o'clock.
Thank
We
you.
adjourn.